The Marvel of Waterfalls. On a bright Saturday morning, Grandpa Jack took his grandchildren, Emily and Jake, on a hiking adventure to a nearby forest renowned for its stunning waterfalls. Emily, at 8, and Jake, who was 6, were buzzing with excitement as they trekked along the trail, their little legs working hard to keep up with Grandpa's steady pace. After a joyful hike through towering trees and bubbling brooks, they arrived at the first waterfall, a magnificent cascade tumbling down from the cliffs above into a crystal-clear pool below. "Wow, Grandpa!" Emily exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's so beautiful! How does a waterfall like this even happen?" Grandpa Jack smiled, sitting down on a moss-covered rock. "Well, let me tell you a story about how waterfalls are born." The children eagerly gathered around him, their curiosity piqued. "You see, Emily and Jake," Grandpa began, "waterfalls start high up in the mountains, where there are rivers and streams flowing down. When these rivers come to a steep drop, like a cliff or a rock face, the water rushes over the edge, creating a waterfall." Jake frowned slightly, trying to picture it. "But where does all the water come from, Grandpa?" Grandpa Jack nodded, appreciating Jake's question. "Good question, buddy. The water comes from rain and melted snow that gathers in rivers and lakes high in the mountains. It flows downhill, and when it reaches a steep drop, it turns into a waterfall." Emily looked thoughtful. "So, it's like a river that suddenly goes over a cliff?" "Exactly," Grandpa Jack confirmed. "And over time, the force of the water flowing over the edge erodes the rock underneath, making the waterfall even bigger." Jake's eyes widened. "So, the waterfall keeps getting taller?" "In some cases, yes," Grandpa Jack replied. "Waterfalls can change over time, depending on how much water flows and how the rock underneath wears away." As they sat there, mesmerized by the sight and the story, Emily noticed something else. "Grandpa, look. There's a rainbow in the mist." Sure enough, a delicate rainbow had formed in the spray of the waterfall, casting shimmering colors across the pool below. Grandpa Jack grinned. Nature has a way of adding its own magic to the beauty of waterfalls. After spending some time soaking in the wonder of the waterfall and its rainbow, they continued their hike to see more of nature's marvels. Along the way, Grandpa Jack pointed out different plants and animals, sharing bits of wisdom and stories from his own childhood adventures in the woods. As they made their way back home that evening, the children couldn't stop talking about the waterfall and everything they had learned. Grandpa Jack smiled to himself, grateful for moments like these where he could share his love of nature and the outdoors with Emily and Jake, passing down knowledge and wonder from one generation to the next.